Meeting of the Park Board to order. My name's Richard Rugen, I'm the chair. We have a quorum to take care of business tonight, so the first order of business is, are the minutes of the August 5th meeting.
I move that we approve the August meeting minutes.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any objection to unanimous consent? So, minutes are approved as read. We'll move right along to Guy with our Parks report.
All right. Building maintenance wise, the Rancho House, mostly finished up. They've finished up touching up paint. They've finished the lattice work around it, looking really nice. We're going to start getting the site ready to grade it, so it's nothing but weeds right now, so Tim and went out there and sprayed it, gonna kill it down, and then we're gonna go in there and till it up and grade and sod. So that's what we've been doing for that. Of course, we've been working with maintaining equipment, trimming and landscape equipment, ball field equipment, mowing, designing equipment, just trying to keep that up and going. This time of year, if we're ready for winter, so we can go back into doing all of our preventive maintenance stuff. Landscaping maintenance has been pretty high this month just because of all the weed pressure. We're getting around all of our landscaping. It's just been such a dry month, and the weeds just love that. So a lot of weeding going on. Turf grass mowing on the other side has been more minimal. However, it is starting to pick back up. Much time was spent again with undesirable weed growth, weed trimming. That's what we spent most of the month doing on the turf grass side. Ball field maintenance continues, just getting ready for this upcoming season, which begins very shortly. We continue to meet with Shive Hattery regarding the Centennial Park Loop Road project and the Forever Green Road Trail Improvements project. We intended pre-construction meetings for both projects on August 8th and August 18th. The two projects, the Centennial Park project has already begun, about a week into that, and the Forever Green Road Trail project has not begun yet, but I anticipate that very soon. The Parks Department assembled 10 new trash receptacles. They were placed along the recreational trail between Penn Street and Forever Green Road, and we took some up also to Penn Meadows Park Shelter. What I want to say about this, North Liberty resident and frequent trail user Tom White donated $5,000 to go towards trash receptacles to put on the trail. So I just wanted to commend him for that very nice donation.
Wow.
Now that college is back in session, I believe we have basically one of our seasonal employees left out of 12. So our staff, our full-time staff, we basically had to pull in, doing just the necessity stuff like mowing, trimming, and anything like landscape-wise. And our projects have gonna kind of have to slow down a bit. So however, we do have the Rancho House project coming up, but yeah, our projects have kind of come to a close for the season now with all our help gone. And the tennis court project, it is definitely behind schedule, I have to admit that, but it has started. The reason why, what I've been told, that the crew contracted COVID and were out for a couple weeks, so that put a kibosh on getting a good early start on that. So we were definitely a couple weeks behind on the tennis court project, so sorry.
Was that a tight timeline, or do we think that well, even if it's a couple weeks behind, is it still likely to finish before we get into bad weather?
Yeah, yes, for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure, guaranteed, but it's looking, they have plenty enough season yet to get it done. They went in and have made all the repairs to the cracks. They've milled them out, filled them in, getting a good sub base there. So then they're gonna put a fabric down to help the cracks from coming up through the new lift. The west side is gonna be leveled out slightly compared to what it has been, and we're doing that for one good reason, and that's the ice rink setup. we've had difficulty in the past. We'd have 12 inches of water on one side and 4 inches on the other, and it doesn't like to freeze the same. So the ice rink will now be on the west side, and pickleball will be on the east side, permanent pickleball courts. So that's gonna be the main improvement to that tennis court, so. Actually, send this down, you can see a picture of the layout of, unless you can see it on your iPad, but.
Are we expecting to have the ice rink open this season?
Yes, yep. As long as, you know, the COVID or whatever doesn't mess things up, but I anticipate it being open again.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they jacking that? How are they leveling it?
With lift, asphalt lift.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's mud jacking.
No, they
That's
went-
concrete, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not concrete, it's asphalt, so they wouldn't be able to use it on
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So they're gonna level half the court, or slightly level it more so, and then it's gonna be tapered the same on the other.
Other side.
Yep.
That's good. I think it is great to acknowledge that donation by
Yeah.
Mr. White. That is great to donate, and I think it shows that people appreciate our trail system and things that we have in North Liberty. I question about, people noticed the trees are missing over at Penn Meadows Park.
Yes, we have removed trees around the tennis court. That's kind of in preparation for this huge remodel of the tennis court. Plus, the trees had grown together, they've overgrown, grew together to a point where they were dying back. So we felt it was time to take those out. Not saying in the future we couldn't replace them with something else. And the ones that you're probably talking about, it's over on Penn Street, north side of Penn Meadows Park. The ones down there, I guess it'd be on the west corner of Penn Meadows Park. We removed those two because for the same reason, they had grown together. They became diseased. We've had complaints of visibility leaving the parking lot, and they were crowding the sidewalks, so we felt it was time to take those out. Those trees were planted for one sole purpose, and that's when we used to have fun days, and people across the street didn't like seeing the truck pull site all year round. So we put those up, and of course, when you put them up to get an immediate screening, you plant them too close together, and eventually they grow together, and that's not healthy for the trees, so. That was the reason why we took those out.
And there's some long-range plan for that
Yep.
side.
So since there's a curb cut currently a curb cut there, and that was for the truck pull at the time, we're gonna utilize that curb cut and bring in a parking lot expansion to that north parking lot. So we'll benefit from having two entrances and, instead of just one off that parking lot.
Oh, nice.
So that's future plans.
Will you ever put lights out there in the parking lot?
Yes, we are.
Pretty dark at night there.
Yep.
A lot of
We
people
are-
hang out there, I don't know.
Right, that's in the CIP to incorporate the repairing of the existing parking lot, adding lights while we do that, and the same goes for the new. But maybe if we can get that lighting, and then maybe eventually we'll get some lighting on the fields, and those two will work together.
Okay. I just know it's
Upside
pretty
is
dark
that
there. so-
when there's fireworks over there, you don't have to worry about
No.
turning out the lights.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Well, just as North Liberty, our growth in North Liberty, the growth in the parks and the projects
Yeah.
to keep up, and that's part of the quality of life, part of the reason that draws people to North Liberty.
Yep. I also do want to mention on the Centennial Park project, and you may hear about it some too, some of the residents on the south side, they're not so thrilled with the road going in. So it's going to change the whole concept of the park on the backside. But that concept's been in place since 2012. That park has been designed to be a kind of a destination park, an event park. All along, that's what the plan has been. So if you start having some feedback, you might start hearing some feedback on it. So
Were the houses even there in 2012? They
No,
weren't, were they?
there wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I
there
thought.
wasn't things there, so,
That's what I
no.
thought.
Well, I think, I remember when we moved 15 years ago, we were told that Deerfield, there was going to be a park in Deerfield.
Yeah.
That happened, so I'm sure it's one we were checking into things that people, as they build, like I say, that's been on the plan for a long time.
Yeah.
And sometimes builders don't tell everybody everything, but if you're a buyer and you're thoroughly looking in, you know what you're getting into. But
Right.
yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to that park out there continuing to be developed. It's a wonderful site and great place for activities.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Guy?
I did have one other question. So you noted that with your seasonal help gone, you've kind of gotten just down to necessities. So with budget season coming up, is there requests for like additional full-time employees so you have a little more capacity to do projects and not just necessities, especially with
Right.
sounds like, you've got more roundabouts to take care of and more.
That's exactly where I'm headed with it. I requested last year, and they told me I needed to wait. So I'm gonna request again this year. We've implemented a second landscaping crew just because the landscaping has just exploded. And, so I'm looking at hiring another landscaping head person, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that, hopefully we can get that through this budget session, which will help. But it's still, when you take 12 guys away from you at the end of the season, that takes a lot of labor force away.
Because there's still rentals at the Ball Diamonds, and they're still dragging the fields, and there's still tournaments scheduled all the way till, October. So, yeah, that area doesn't really stop either, like it used to probably in the past, where it kind of quit in July, and then everybody went on vacation. Now, they must work their vacation around that, because there's a lot of stuff going on there. Especially this coming up week is kind of when it starts, everybody's out there again, so. Soccer, yeah, we have soccer out there also, so it's busy.
There is one more thing I'd like to bring up that I just found out about today. And we applied for a DNR derecho tree planting grant. We were awarded $5,000, but there are a lot of stipulations that go along with that, so we have to actually have an event. Hopefully bring some public out, board members, whoever would like to come join us. We're looking at October 2nd at about 9:30 in the morning. There'll probably be some representative from the DNR overseeing the project. But we have different parks that we're gonna replace some trees, about 32 trees in total. So I'm not sure we'll get over them all that day, but maybe we can go to each community and plant a couple and move on to another community and do it. 'Cause I know Nick said he was gonna use the ambassadors program maybe to bring in some of the neighborhoods where those trees are gonna be. But I just wanted to bring that up because we definitely, one of the requirements is to have an educational portion of this, like showing how to plant a tree, how to take care for a tree, short-term, long-term. But October 2nd is the scheduled date for it, and October 9th is the rain date.
Okay. Do you have a location yet for?
Yeah, we
that?
have locations
Okay.
already. Yep.
Hop around to the parks, like the park crawl or
How did,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, tree
That we
tree planting
had,
crawl.
but,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I think that we can get, people will show up, that's great. I know it takes time and effort to write grants, so
Yeah.
thanks for writing the grant and getting that, and it'll be appreciated as we get some trees replaced.
Guy does that in his spare time, I think.
Did we, just out of curiosity, I'm trying to remember, did we lose some significant trees during derecho?
Yeah, we sure
around here?
did. Yeah.
Okay.
Beaver Creek, for example, some of those
Okay.
trees
That
a lot of
makes
those are older trees, and it's time to get some newer stuff down there anyways, but, yeah, that's, for example, that's a spot that's gonna get some trees, so.
Cool.
Good.
You have a note in here about the Centennial Park Loop Road going to finalize the plans next June. It says June 2022.
That's on my report?
It's on the one I see.
Oh, you mean, okay, from the minutes from last meeting?
Oh, is it, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, majority of the project's gonna be, hopefully if weather holds, the road should be in yet this fall, but substantial completion will not be until spring
Okay.
of 2022. They'll be doing some minor stuff. The contract allows them to finish up the project totally next spring. But we're hoping to have the road in yet this fall.
Okay.
Hopefully they can have some grading done, and ideally, I'd like to get a dormant seed down or some sort of seeding down, so it would just come right up in the springtime and have some establishment before Blues and Barbecue. In an ideal world, that's what I'd like to see, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Seeding might end up next spring, we'll see.
Sure.
Is that all paving, or are they bricking anything?
There's some bricking in
Okay.
parking there's additional parking, you know what the parking looks like on the, I guess it'd be the east side? There's some of that brick parking, smaller brick parking.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna be 2 areas on the back of the loop, where there'll be eventually 2 pavilions. So there'll be
Got it.
some parking for those pavilions.
okay. Okay,
And they'll have some of that, pervious pavers.
got it.
Yep.
I think we can tell that our parks program's busy.
Yeah, yep. Always.
You've always got an
improving.
answer, guy. You've always got an answer. That's good. That's
So they're working on our bike
We-
tunnel, so.
We haven't stumped you yet, so, anything else? Okay, now we'll move on. Shelley, your turn for the rec center report.
Summer season is coming to a close. Summer camp ended, the 10 weeks of summer camp, and then this Sunday, September 5th, is the last day for the outdoor pool to be open. Both pools will shut down well, actually, the outdoor pool shuts down then Monday, the holiday. It will be closed for the city holiday and then closed for the season. The indoor pool, we did find out today, kind of a more definite time period. September 10th through October 24th is when the indoor pool will be closed down for the pool heater, changing that out to the new pool heater. So we're working with that contractor. We're hoping we don't have to drain the indoor pool, and we can, the actual circulation pumps can only be off for up to 3 weeks by manually keeping it going. So we're hoping we don't have to lose all that water. We can keep it going, and then the circulation pumps could hopefully be just shut down for up to 3 weeks at the most. We're hoping it's a shorter window, and then get those back going again, so we don't lose chemical and the cost of all that to refill it. And it also takes time to rebalance and all that if we have to completely drain it. So we're hoping we don't have to do that, and we're still working with the contractor to figure out exactly, hopefully we won't have to drain it, but the circulation pumps can be connected in a quicker fashion and then turn back on to help resolve that, and we don't have to. But more to come on that, I'm sure. We'll just see how it goes. They've done a lot of the outside work, poured the floor of the new addition side, cut into the existing wall to help tie in the floor at the same level. Trying to think what they said they were gonna do next. Maybe set the pads for the actual pool heaters themselves, so we're just plugging along, and it's going fairly good, the whole project. September, basically we're just gearing up for fall season. Brian's been extremely busy with leagues. We have NLCT volleyball, youth volleyball, we have outdoor soccer they mentioned, flag football, and then you have competitive leagues, adult leagues, anything
Adult
else? I'm for-
volleyball, adult basketball, that all starts not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Men's league basketball, co-ed volleyball starts at the same time. NLC, our Supreme Flag Football League, which is our program with Coralville and Tiffin that we kind of share between the 3 cities. That, we had a scrimmage last Saturday, and then the season will start not this Saturday, but the following Saturday after that. So flag football will start then. NLC volleyball, which is shared program with Tiffin and Coralville, or Tiffin and, Coralville as well. That starts just coming up Tuesday. That'll start off, and that's just kind of the first day is kind of get together, get your shirts, meet your team, have a little practice, and then go on your way. And then the following week, they'll start games, so. We have a lot of stuff there, soccer, like they said, indoor or outdoor soccer. Normally, we let 70 kids, I think, in the program. This year, we have 12 and about 30 on the wait list. We just don't have enough coaches to allow the rest of them in. We did extend it, we put it up to 100, and then we upped it again up to 100, and I think it's 112 or something like that. So, like I said, soccer's always been one that I've really not pushed very hard because we don't have a lot of space to have soccer. And I know if we start pushing it, it's going to get big because I think with the Iowa City Kickers being in Iowa City, people would rather be here if they could. And so that's a program that's getting larger and bigger, and it's just finding people to help do it, just like everything else now with the programming. So.
Leading into that too is, we are, have some difficulties with our part-time staffing. We are in need of swim instructors for swim lessons, with the pool heater project. We had to cancel the swim lessons for the that was supposed to start in October. And so the next one will be November, but even if a pool would have been open, I don't think we would have had enough swim instructors to actually do swim lessons. So, we're really pushing that. We're a little short also on our before and after school rec counselors. We're not as bad there. We're getting by, but it'd be nice to have a few more, I think, standbys and a little more coverage there. And then our front desk building monitor positions and off-sites if we start using schools again, we are very short on building monitors. So we're definitely seeing that. We've heard from other communities that they've, they were short lifeguards during the summer season, but we've looked pretty good through summer camp and through pool operations, but we are now experiencing that shortage as well. So again, if you're interested in part-time positions within the recreation department, look to the website, and we're blasting out all the details on what we're looking for. So we're definitely in need of some part-time staff.
Flag football referees would be good too, so if anybody knows anybody that wants to be a flag football referee, it's pretty recreational, it's $15 an hour. It's pretty easy, it's just on Sundays, Sunday afternoon, so if you know anybody that needs something to do on a Sunday afternoon, we could use you, so.
What age, Brian, would be
Age of the referees,
for the referees?
I'd take anybody 16 and older. We've got a few Liberty High School football players that are doing it, and a couple Clear Creek Amana football players that are doing it, so. And then just some other people that work for Coralville and stuff like that, but it's a tough thing. I sent an email to the new football coach at Liberty, and he did send it on to his families, and I've gotten a few of those kids, so I just try to get those kids to get a few more and let them know that, it's not so bad. It's a pretty good deal for a Sunday afternoon, so.
Do we have any sort of, for down at the university, is there advertising down there for?
Yeah, I mean, we have it on, we have a website, it used to be called Hire a Hawk, it's called Handshake now, and we put advertisements at Cornell, Kirkwood, the University of Iowa,
Okay,
yeah, and we've got about one from that, so, I mean, it doesn't cost us anything to put that out there, but,
yeah.
I mean, people just aren't,
We
You
use
just aren't
Handshake
doing
also, and
yeah.
not very much response at all from that.
And their hardest time is probably in the summer because there's probably not as many kids
Yeah.
here anyhow. With me, sometimes it works, but it doesn't always, I do it for outdoor soccer coaches too, and I think I got one. So, I got 2 out of my flag football and soccer from that handshake thing, and it goes to all the students and they can look at it,
Yeah.
so.
Have you considered maybe reaching out to some of the churches? A lot of them have employment specialists to help people in their congregations find some work. You might find that some success there.
Thank you. We'll look into that, because, no, I don't think we have, so.
Anything else? I guess I have to ask about what are the protocols for team for COVID if somebody would test, say they were positive with COVID within the team sports and stuff. Do we have a protocol for that?
I don't know what it was last year. We didn't have any issues last year, so, I mean, with
Hope
our.
we don't, but
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, a lot of what we do is just work with the Johnson County Public Health anytime. We had a few instances within swim lessons over the summer. So we just work with them and, usually by their own recommendations of contract tracing and stuff and, how close were they and did they have masks, did they not have masks, what the extent was, then we usually go with whatever they recommend, but we're in close contact with them.
That's good.
If parents or anybody lets us know that, hey, a participant did test positive, then we go through that procedure of at least letting people know, be aware, look for symptoms, pay attention to your child and stuff like that.
Good. I think that's good to know. I guess what did we, with all the limits and stuff on swimming, how did it compare to past years with number of revenue and swimmers?
Well, it was definitely better than last year since
Yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't have the outdoor pool last year, so that was a plus. We gained.
Yeah.
We are actually looking at doing some information to possibly get some assistance, working with Tracy. I guess there are some grants out there. If we can show a certain percentage of loss through, I think, weight fitness related. So the weight and exercise area, lap swim potentially in the pool, anything that was impacted by fitness related with operations and stuff that we might be able, again, I'm providing information and Tracy's kind of leading the, actually filling out the exact application process and stuff like that and asking necessary questions on what would potentially qualify, what would not. Any of our outdoor pool daily fees, that's basically recreational, so that wouldn't count, but more of the indoor pool stuff could potentially. So we're at least pursuing it. And again, I think it continues to be a roller coaster. 1 minute we think, okay, we're on getting back to normal, and then, we had starting with the mask inside the facility, then we do see a little bit of a, I would say, lull again of people not wanting to wear masks when they come to the facility. So again, until that lift, I think the roller coaster is going to continue for a while. And again, hopefully we don't become a facility that, is a spreader. And so that's why we take those precautions. And it is so populated, that's kind of our fear, is we don't want to be one of those facilities that spreads not only to community, but to us as staff too. As soon as it hits, then it usually goes through the staff too, and that's a concern, how to stay open if that would happen, so.
Yeah, we're all very cognizant of what's, of those situations and concerns, and we hope we're all staying safe, and important for staff to stay safe. So, any other questions for
You got any
Julie?
updates on the showers? Pool showers?
Pool showers,
I know Marcia swims.
I'm supposed to be getting, some information from Shive on their specs and plans on how to redo the gas line to the shower rooms, along with gas lines and snow gems, snow rails for the snow off the roof. I keep every Monday, send an email and trying to keep on them. I shared that with you. Do you remember when I got that? Was that just this week? So
Yep.
hopefully by next week I'll have the actual specs. And then to my knowledge from a most recent email is I will then take those specs and get in contact with contractors and get quotes and then choose somebody and hopefully get it going. So it's been definitely a process. We are going to redo the gas lines and put the snow gyms, and then the plan is next spring or soon thereafter, plan for what to do with the entire roof. So that's about all I know at this point.
A lot of upkeep. I think I was gonna ask, you put in some procedures of swimming this summer that maybe you were gonna continue, that were different because of COVID, the way you had people enter and things like that. thought of things that worked really well that you thought about keeping for the future? Or?
I think with a lot of things, we're evaluating everything, what did work well, what didn't work well, and how can we incorporate that moving forward. Again, operating the two pools as two separate facilities, basically recreational swim was completely outdoor, lap swim, aqua classes, and evening swim lessons were held indoor pool, and that seemed to actually work pretty well. Again, we're just making our notes as we've gone through this season, and right now, those pros and the cons, and how we can improve, or what would be beneficial to keep from this learning process. So we'll continue to definitely do that.
My limited experience thought it was, well, to enter the pool without going through the building, enter
Yep.
the outside pool without going through the building might be stopped from water all over the floor and.
Yeah,
And
it
it,
seemed to work well.
and it worked this year. I think the real reason was because we didn't do any hot food for the concessions, so all that space was empty, so having people pay there was great. Now, next year, if we're open full throttle and have hot dogs and hamburgers and all that, it kind of takes up all that space, so it's something we're gonna have to think about, how we can do something else, or, it worked out great, I think, this summer, but there's that,
continue.
if we start doing hot food again, which is probably our goal, but it takes up all the space on the counters, so.
I had some people say they thought it was neat that they didn't have to go through the
Yes.
building.
Yeah, because before you came in the building, went all the way down the thing, and then when you left, you had to come all the way up and back and around, and, yeah, it was,
The 1
Try
hour
to-
for pass holders, I've gotten a lot of comments that people like that.
I bet, yeah.
So again, if we have to limit capacities and stuff like that, having those types of programs and stipulations in place, I think will be beneficial. So a lot of good positive things came out of it, and then some, okay, we have to tweak this or we have to tweak that. So definitely a learning process.
Oh, yeah, circumstances create innovation, so that's what we do and appreciate. Yeah. Anything else? Well, the next item says board vacancy.
Actually, Craig let me know that he was, their family are moving to Dallas, Texas, and so his last meeting was to be tonight. So,
And so Craig, if you're out there,
we do have a vacancy. I did let City Hall and Communications know that we'd have to start advertising again, so we'll be short until we can advertise that and get someone on board, so.
Is that a partial term? When is his term up?
Oh, do I have that here? I might
I
have that
think-
here somewhere.
Real, well, if we've all been re-sworn in,
I wonder if he's aligned with my time, and I don't even remember when
I think
I had
started
it
in-
here and now
Oh, I
I
started
seem
last
to
year,
misplace it.
I
I don't know
think.
where I put it.
I think it was 19.
well, Craig, if you're out there,
I-
to everybody, Craig Sundell, we appreciate his service to the board. And I think the application process is usually online. If you look online, if you have any questions, you contact Shelley. But I think if you go to the City of North Liberty, would see the application. And we would find out that would be a term, I guess, to finish that, whatever that term is, would be to finish that term. So I'm sure that'll be publicized as to what it is. So anybody out there, our meetings aren't ever too long. You can tell they're very informative, and it's a very interesting group to be a part of and part of the discussion. And we look forward to someone applying and coming on the board. So, do we need to any action to accept that?
No, I basically
I think
forwarded,
for-
I think the email that I received served what City Hall needed as far as kind of a resignation and stuff like that, so.
We regretfully accept Craig's
Yep.
resignation. Is there any other new business to come before the board? Hearing none, is there any old business? We've rehashed everything that we needed to. The next meeting is scheduled for October 7th at 7 o'clock. So that's always the first Thursday of the month for whoever's looking at applying to be on the board. Our meetings are monthly, the first Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock. So with no other business, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
And a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
And the other two of us will agree. Meeting adjourned.